It is the Illini Basketball Podcast, episode number 134. First one of 2023, January 2nd is the date of today, obviously, naturally. Kind of weird to have as much going on a Monday as there is, given the Illini football team playing in their bowl game today, obviously, naturally losing that one very naturally. And
yeah. I thought we were doing a reaction show to the football game. No?
I feel like people would want that. I did get a message. I got a message in our Facebook that was asking where the football podcast was. So I hope everybody enjoyed this year for football because I don't know. I have to say.
I think that 8-5. I think anybody would take it.
Yeah, I just think that it could have been so much better.
Yeah,
just with the way the season went. Like not going into it, the expectations are lower, but Indiana, how do you lose to them? Purdue,
Yeah, I agree.
But the basketball team is.
But we're here for basketball.
The basketball team is not losing again this season. So
that's right.
Yeah.
18-2 in the Big Ten.
Yeah, they're going to outperform your prediction. So
yeah.
But what we're doing here, I mean, we already discussed the Bethune-Cookman game. We went around the Big Ten last time. We'll talk a little bit about the Big Ten here at some point. But Illinois does play Wednesday. They play Northwestern at Northwestern, which is a place where they've had two bizarre games there the last 2 years. 2 years ago, horrific first half, and then absolutely destroyed them in the second half. Maybe the most destruction that Illinois has given to another Big Ten team not named Minnesota in the last few seasons. It was ugly. I'm trying to pull up the box score on that one. That game was final score of where the hell is it at? 81-56. That was a game where Northwestern was up 43-28 at the half.
Yeah.
And Illinois outscored them in a big way, 53-13 in the second half. So that was that game. Then last year was a very ugly, low scoring, which I think this year is more likely to be that way than 2 years ago. It was 57-56. Illinois beat them 59-56. Whoa, got that one wrong. Kofi was the saver there, had 22 points, 9 rebounds. But I remember DeMonte made a couple big plays because I think we had a video of you celebrating when DeMonte did something during that game last season.
Yes.
He had 9 rebounds. So how about
no
that?
cuss words in that either.
Well, what can you do? 9 rebounds, 3 assists for DeMonte in that game. So one of his better games this season with 5 points last year. But anyway, Northwestern this year, I don't know, 10-3. They almost beat Auburn. Probably should have beat Auburn if we're being honest early in the season. I don't think Auburn is that good, but they are a formidable opponent. Then they followed that up just by getting the doors blown off by Pittsburgh. They lost to Pitt by 29 points. And then they rattled off 5 straight wins. Not any really good opponents in that stretch other than Michigan State on the road.
Michigan State without Hall, though.
Yeah, that's true. But, Penn State lost to that Michigan State team, and Illinois got destroyed by Penn State anyway.
Yeah.
But Northwestern did play yesterday, and they got destroyed by Ohio State.
Yeah, that's the thing that scares me the most. I know that you don't seem to worry about that, but coming off a loss, you always think a team's going to play better. I'd rather it have been a close game. Heck, I wouldn't have cared if Northwestern would have won that, but Illinois has got to go to Northwestern after they just got the crap kicked out of them by Ohio State. So not super exciting. Northwestern did have a better second half that game. I think they outscored Ohio State 40-38 in the second half. So much better second half than they did the first half.
I think one thing in this game for Illinois is the less threes you shoot against Northwestern, I think, and the ability to score within, the paint and inside the 3-point line, I think the better. Ohio State did not shoot very many threes in that game, 15 threes. Pitt only shot 21 against them, and I think Auburn shot like 20. So
yeah, like we said after the Bethune-Cookman game, that game didn't show you a lot except that Underwood is willing to change some things. So, it'll be interesting to see what the starting lineup is with Illinois, but I feel like they're going to they're going to start attacking the post more. They're going to work the ball through danger. Maybe Coleman Hawkins posts up. I doubt it because he might broken nail or something. But
yeah,
Steve, what's up? How you doing?
I'm not worried about that loss for Northwestern yesterday. I think that their coach is a clown. I don't know how he still has a job.
He
This
just
is a
got an extension,
horribly
didn't he?
Yeah, a couple years ago, I think. You make the tournament one time there, you might get a lifetime deal.
That's true. True.
Terrible program. I think one thing to think about with Northwestern this season is their offense is horribly inefficient. It's a bad offensive team.
Yeah.
Like up and down the roster, nobody's shooting well from the field. If Illinois can kind of defend in the same manner that they did against Bethune-Cookman, obviously it's going to be harder. But I think Illinois should be able to hold them down unless they have a Missouri-like game, which Missouri is an actual efficient offense.
Yeah, and that's the only worry I think is how well will Northwestern shoot. I mean, they got good players, but they're not spectacular players unless they get hot and Illinois doesn't defend well. I'm hoping that this new defense with less switching, things like that will open, will make the defense better. But again, it's something that we're going to have to see on the court and how it actually works against a Big Ten opponent. So if he doesn't start Harris, their guards could be a problem. I agree. We're going to talk about our players to watch. MJ, what's going on?
I don't know if it's about starting Sincere, but I think it's about getting him in at the right time.
Yeah, you got to get him off the bench earlier. Yeah. And I don't think there's anything hurt starting him over RJ right now.
No.
So it kind of depends if Sky's back. I haven't heard about Sky yet. I guess we'll probably hear tomorrow in the pregame interviews and stuff. But I would assume Sky's injury will again be an easy excuse to not start him. So
yeah. Illinois historically has done very well against Northwestern's players that are returning in their lineup. You got Boo Buie at the 1-6-2, 5 for 24 from three in their three losses. If he's not shooting the ball well, they could struggle. Boo Buie is certainly kind of like, I guess, Marcus Carr in this against Illinois. Kind of struggles against them. You look at last season, he was 3 for 13 against Illinois from the field in the second game. In the first game, he was 3 for 11. So, I mean, he's just – and then the year before that, 4 for 9, which isn't that bad, but they still lost the game.
Yeah.
And then 0 for 6. And then 4 for 12. I mean, it's embarrassing. Didn't play in one of the games. So, I mean –
yeah, Boo Buie is probably the streakiest player I've ever seen. So Jay says, hello, why is RJ even playing?
Whoa.
It's a bit extreme, but I can see that argument. I mean, his defense has been lacking. He hasn't done well with the switching everything defense. I hope that changes now that Brad is making adjustments. And I think that his arm's kind of throwing him off on shooting.
When his shoulder, there was like 2 or 3 games where he literally just could not shoot.
He couldn't get to the basket.
Yeah, I don't understand why he was playing during that stretch.
Yeah. MJ says, not sure starting Harris is the right move, in my opinion. I just don't think you can wait until 6 to 8 minute mark to go in the first half. Absolutely. I mean, if he's going to play and he keeps saying that he needs to play, like I think it was the Penn State game, right? Or was it the Missouri game? Penn State, where he didn't come in for 9 minutes. You gotta fix that. Steve, the attitude culture is better when they start Harris. They start out playing defense, in my opinion. I think that he brings a lot of energy to the team, and that is a great way to start the game. It also can be good coming off the bench. But the lack of energy and wanting to play seems to be a problem with Illinois right now. Wanting to play team basketball, it seems to be a problem. And I think Sincere is a big reason why that can change, because he's all out all the time, and that changes everybody's attitude when you have a guy like that. So
yeah, I think I don't know. I think I'm okay with either. I think I'm okay if he's not starting, and I'm okay if he's coming off the bench
first
early.
guy off the bench, yeah.
Let's see. Ty Berry at the 2 hasn't really played very many minutes.
Zach says Sky took Illinois out of his bio and unfollowed all of Illini basketball pages. Wow. Jimmy says they need to start Harris. They have better energy. Yeah, I agree. On Instagram. I'm not on Instagram.
Well, I was gonna say I don't really usually look into this stuff very much, but I did notice when Illinois posted like a New Year thing, they didn't even tag Sky, but they tagged like every other player. That was kind of weird.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I didn't even know Sky was there, just because with the new hair and everything. We thought maybe he left. So Jay says RJ concerned mainly for his health. His shot wouldn't hit water if it fell off a boat at this moment. Team needs to drive to the bucket more and stop shooting so many 3 balls. I agree, or kick out for open threes. But they don't have a legitimate 3-point threat outside of Matthew Meyer. Epps, I guess, could be that. He seems streaky too.
Wait until Luke Goody's back.
Steve says he is the leader of this team. He needs to start. I assume talking about Sincere. Evan, what's up? Attitudes definitely look way better. They did against Bethune-Cookman. We'll see what happens when, if Northwestern comes out and Illinois is down 5, 6, 7 points. We'll see what the attitudes are like then. That's my worry. So.
Yep. All right. Ty Berry. Interesting. Double-digit points in the last 2 games. I don't think he's played very many minutes. Yeah, he's been playing he played 22 against Ohio State last night. Yeah, he kind of beat Illinois up a little bit in that second matchup last year at 16 points, 4 of 6 from 3. But I'm not a guard that I'm too worried about. Chase Audige is one that I would be worried about. 6'4", 29 threes this season, had 27 threes last season, so he's already eclipsed that. And I kind of feels like him or Bowie would have transferred by now. I'm kind of surprised they're both still there. But I guess if they're gonna start,
playing, yeah.
Well, that doesn't really matter anymore at this point.
Hayes says we need Luke shooting back. Yeah, I haven't heard anything on Luke. They said January, so I'm hoping that somebody asks tomorrow during the media stuff, and we get kind of an answer. Jimmy with a throwback to Pana High School 2003, Justin Shrake for 3-point threat. If you know him, you know him. Jay, hopefully no one took Illinois points today on ESPN bad beats. Yeah, that'll be number 1 bad beat, I believe, on Scott Van Pelt tonight. So
Yep, no doubt. Of course.
Anyways, back to Ty Berry or whoever.
Well, Robbie Barron at the 4, 6'9". He's got 2 games with 20 points this season. I don't think they were against good opponents. I think Chicago State and maybe Brown or someone like that he scored 20 against, so I'm not impressed. Starting at the 5 is Matthew Nicholson, 7-footer, 0 points, 0 for 7 from the field last night, but had 13 rebounds, 8 offensive rebounds, 2 blocks. Was there last year, didn't play very much last season, but he's there now. And it's not going to be a problem because Dane Danger is about to embarrass this dude.
That's what I like to hear.
So.
All right.
Yeah, he's got 0 games with double-digit points. But he has been pretty efficient. He's shooting I guess for a 7-footer you have to be, but
I would think that you'd make them all.
He's actually only shooting 50%, so that's not that good. But I think last night tanked his percentage because he wasn't that bad
right
for most of the season. But like I said, I mean, Northwestern's offense is atrocious. For a Big Ten offense, that's you should be kicked out of the Big Ten for your offense being that bad, especially with their record. How are they 10-3 with this? Say what you want about what Illinois does on offense, they are way more efficient than Northwestern.
Yeah. Jay says Dane would be dominant if he can improve his free throw percentage.
That's never happening.
He said that he's going to try harder. I don't know what that means, but
yeah, that'll be good. KenPom numbers: Illinois 48th in adjusted offense, Northwestern 196th. Bad, very bad. Defensive efficiency, a bit of a different story though. Illinois 28th, Northwestern 8th, and then adjusted tempo: Illinois 68th, Northwestern 249. So they want to slow it down, run their horrible offense in the half court. Both teams with horrific half-court offenses.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
Yeah. This game might be 40-39.
That'd be exciting.
It's not what we're picking, but that's what we could.
Northwestern is 286th in 3-point percentage and 327th in 2-point percentage.
That's good because Illinois will run the switching D if Northwestern can't shoot.
Maybe, but then they'll learn how to shoot. I mean, just look at Maryland yesterday.
2 of 29,
and then against Illinois they just light it up. But Northwestern's defense is number 1 in the country at defending 2-point percentage against their opponents. So, Illinois is going to chuck up 43s.
Yeah,
that'll be exciting. Illinois should have plenty opportunity to block shots in this game because Northwestern 323rd in their shot blocks percentage on offense. So they get their shots blocked a lot. Is basically what that boils down to. Of course. They don't turn it over, though. They get their shots up. They just miss.
That's a great stat.
Beautiful stat, of course. Northwestern's offense sucks. I mean, I don't really know what else to say about it. It is what it is. Welcome to the Chris Collins collapse. It happens every season. They start off pretty well and then collapse. You look at last season, for example. If you want an example, they were 8-2 going into January, finished the season 14-15. And then 15-16 after the Big Ten tournament. So the Chris Collins special, as we like to call it.
I think you're the only one that calls it that. But.
Well, people are aware. I mean, they went 3-1 in the COVID year and then finished 3-1 non-conference in the COVID year, finished 9-15. I mean, come on. Team's a joke.
Yep.
Year before that, they were, 5-4 in non-conference going into Big Ten play and then 8-23. Yeah, it's just something that happens every year, and it's going to happen again this year. And Ohio State and Illinois are starting it off early for them.
Well, I hope so. Players to watch. I went with Dane Danger and Boo Buie. Again, I want to see. It seems like Underwood is committed to starting Danger, to running the offense through him, kind of like we did with Kofi. And I'm interested to see how that works. The pick and rolls, I want to see that more because when Danger's not in, Coleman sets ghost picks all the time, so you really don't even open up the floor. And I want to see him pass a little bit more out of the post, find open shooters. But I think he's going to be a big part of Illinois moving forward, and hopefully this is a step in the right direction for the Illinois team. Boo Buie, we talked about him a little bit. He's playing about 33 minutes a game. He's averaging around 14 points, 4 assists. Like you said, his shooting's very streaky, 34% from the field, only 30% from 3. He did have 28 points against amazing Purdue Fort Wayne team. I believe that's who that is.
Elite.
He went 7-13 from 3 that game. So I think locking him down, a guy like Sincere can lock him down. Keep him from shooting well. I don't think that he's really had a good game against Illinois in his career. I could be wrong on that, but so I think that's a big thing is not letting Boo Buie get hot. And he usually doesn't get hot, but if he does, I think it could be trouble for Illinois. He was only 3 of 15 yesterday against Ohio State, 3 of 10 from 3. So those are my 2 guys to keep an eye on, and hopefully Danger has another 20-point game.
He's going to have 20 and 20, if I had to guess.
That's what I like to hear.
I'll go Sincere. A lot of people talking about him, how he should start, his defense, everything. I agree. I don't know if he will start, but I think any guard that he is playing defense against in this game, he will have a significant advantage. With the exception of maybe Audige might be able to get him a couple times, but I don't think Barry or Bowie are any threat to him offensively. I did go with Audige as my guy for Northwestern. A bit more physical, 6'4", a little bit bigger than Bowie. Has had some success against Illinois in the past. I think that's kind of Illinois' biggest threat. That's the guy you got to shut down. But other than that, I think Illinois, top to bottom, I think they match up pretty well against this team. This isn't like Missouri or Penn State. They match up better against a Northwestern team that really just can't shoot.
Yeah. Yep.
They play like no offense basketball. Like they scored, their defense is good, but like they gave up. Okay, let's look at this. Let's think about this for a sec. Auburn's offense in the country is 50th, which isn't great. But like if you give up 43 points to Auburn and you lose, it's like, man, that's a tough spot. That's a tough spot to be in. So I don't know. The only offenses that have really gotten after them is kind of Pittsburgh and Ohio State. Pretty much the two teams that scored 70 plus and beat them. So we'll see. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think this is too much of a. I'm not worried at all. I think Illinois is going to win, and I absolutely refuse to be wrong.
I'm not worried about this game much, except to see how Illinois is, how they come out against a competent opponent. I don't know if everybody would call Northwestern a competent opponent, but I'm going to do it in this scenario, considering where Illinois has been before Bethune-Cookman. But I got Illinois winning this. I think they're going to dominate this game, and I got them winning 75-63.
I got 68-62. I think I don't know. I'm not going to trust Illinois to score a lot in this game just because last season they couldn't score there. I know it's a completely different team this year, but it just has the feeling of that. But we'll be talking about in a month from now how Chris Collins should be fired. So that'll be fun to talk about because this might be the year. If they completely collapse again in Big Ten play like they always do under him, got to think he's done. You have to think that, but who knows? Yeah. All right, around the Big Ten real quick here. Yesterday, good game from Maryland. They really got after it.
Well, there wasn't a good game on yesterday.
No, not really.
As much as we thought that they would be good, they were not interesting at all.
Rutgers is going to beat Purdue tonight, so that'll be fun to watch.
Book it.
Yep.
Clip it and ship it, or whatever they say.
Absolutely. Yeah, but Maryland scored 13 points in the first half, 4 points in the first 10 minutes. And Michigan beat Maryland by a lot of points. I'm going to do some quick math there. 35 is the number. And, of course, Hakeem Hart took 2 threes. What is that? Dante Scott took 3 threes. And Donald Carey, for some reason, thinks he's Steph Curry and went 0 for 8 from 3. So,
ouch. Yeah.
I don't know what the deal is there.
When Carey's shooting all your threes for Maryland, that's not where you want to be. But I'd say maybe Michigan had a good plan on where they wanted the ball to go, and I don't know.
I'll say this: 2 players that played for Maryland yesterday, on the end of their bench, very interesting names. Ike Cornish, a freshman, played 8 minutes, and Caleb Swanton Roger, another freshman. Very nice. Well done by those guys. Anyway, but yeah, Dickinson had a big game, 32-11 or 32-12. So without shooting a 3 as well, he had that going for him. What was the other game?
Penn State,
Iowa. Yeah. Well, Iowa's terrible. I think we all know that by now.
Yeah, that game I think ended up closer than how it started, but it seemed like Penn State was pretty dominant most of the game.
Penn State was up 18 at the half, won by 4. Chris Murray had 32, 9, and 3.
Yeah.
Pickett had 26.
Worst part about it all, Michigan 8-5, and they're 2-0 in the Big Ten right now. So,
well, 2-0 against a terrible Minnesota team and a Maryland team that's clearly collapsing.
Yeah.
Illinois is going to fire it up and have a better record than Michigan within the next month and a half. Just so we're clear on that, everybody. But yeah, tonight you got Purdue Rutgers. It's at Purdue. Don't care. Rutgers is winning that game. Rutgers is 18th on KenPom right now. That is surprising. 18th overall.
Yeah, a lot of people have them in like their top 30, 35.
Because right now you have Purdue is 6. Then you have Ohio State 12, Rutgers 18, Indiana 19, Illinois 28, Maryland 38, Penn State 44, which is weird, Wisconsin 42. But I think Penn State is one of the best teams in the Big Ten because I think they're very well suited for Big Ten play, the way that they play. I think Pickett can pretty much do whatever he wants against anybody. I'll be curious, though, to see how Michigan plays against Penn State. That's another home game. I think Michigan plays every game at home. Like, Jesus. They got a couple away games coming up, but
Yeah.
Penn State and Michigan on Wednesday will be very interesting to see how that goes. I think Penn State could beat them, but you never know. All right. That's going to do it for us. We will return after this game because Illinois they play Saturday, I believe, against Wisconsin. Yeah, Saturday against Wisconsin. We'll probably be back Friday or Thursday or whatever. So,
yeah, probably I don't know. I could probably do both depending on the time.
We'll see what's what.
And maybe a watch party Saturday. So, be on the lookout for that.
All right, we'll be back episode 135. We'll be talking about Illinois' absolute dominance. Maybe even make Chris Collins might get fired Wednesday night. I mean, that might happen. So,
let's hope so.
We'll see you next time.